ScribbleTalks Ep.5. I'm here with my guest, Manfred Rohr. He's from Graz, Austria. Manfred, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. First off, thank you so much for your willingness to do this interview. I know you've got a very busy schedule, so I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, so just to give a little bit of background here, I stumbled across your page, I believe, on the Instagram Explore page. And when I saw your work, I immediately followed you and sent you a message and said, "Hey, I would love to interview about your work." And here we are, thankfully. um, so from what I see, I mean, I love the black and white. I love the line work. I love, the intimate detail on certain objects and shapes that you have in your work. Um, but to hear a little bit more about you and your art and as an illustrator, what led you to pick up a pencil or pen? What started this journey for you?
Oh, that's a great way to start. It all started, of course, as a young child. Probably most artists did draw a lot already in the childhood. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, it's art has always been a big part in my life. Um, as I said, I started as a child, and then uh, I went to a art-centered high school. I learned graphics design there. And from there on, I always drew, I always painted. But in the end, it was a long, bumpy road, not really a straight one.
Okay, so and that was going to be my follow-up question. You mentioned painting. Were there any other mediums that you were drawn to?
Yeah, it's interesting because I started out pretty much digitally a lot. I do painting with Photoshop with a Wacom tablet. And now I got back from digital to working more analogy with pen and inks and acrylic paints and stuff.
Right.
But for me, it was the other way around. I think a lot of people start with traditional medias, and then try digital painting.
Got it.
But with me, it was the other way around. I probably because I had the background as a graphic designer, I learned to handle with Photoshop. I handled Photoshop, and yeah, so it was pretty natural for me to explore the digital realm. Like,
Okay. Now, has this become, as far as your Instagram is concerned, is this just a hobby for you, or do you actually do it professionally and have clientele?
no, I'm a professional illustrator since a few years, but as I said, initially I started as a fantasy artist. I did a completely different style, uh, more more painterly and realistic, semi-realistic, and I worked a lot for a small game publisher, indie book authors, and yeah, games, video, board game stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Uh,
And so you have an
but
excellent background, it seems, for your art.
yeah, but it was never entirely my. It wasn't. I couldn't put my soul into it and my heart, and it wasn't what I really wanted to do. And so about 2 or 3 years, yeah, 3 years ago, I decided to go experiment with bit more in the line art direction. And yeah, actually, Inktober got me to try this. It was Inktober 2019, I guess. That was my first Inktober, and I just began with a challenge. I sort of tried, and yeah, I liked it a lot to be more graphical. And since then,
Okay, great.
I'll be going this direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I've liked a lot of your October or Inktober works so far. And since I, reside in the States, could you tell me some of your favorite things about the design or artistic side in, the country of Austria? Like, what do you like about it? What do you dislike about the scene?
Hmm. Scene in Austria. So, which scene exactly do you mean?
Just, I guess, how would you describe the art world in Austria as far as marketing, promotions, things like that? Like, what do you have anything about it that you enjoy more than others?
The thing is, it's as I said, I've began just recently to be more active in my local art scene. Before that, I did a lot of fantasy artwork, illustrations, and my clients were all over the world, mostly the States, and yeah, mostly the States.
Okay.
So because in fantasy art publishing, there's almost no scene there in Austria, of course. Yeah, it's not that popular. Uh, for I mean, there of course there are a lot of people who like it, but not no publisher, no big publisher. So, yeah, no clients are there. So my clients were all over the world, and I wasn't really connected in my local art scene. Uh, that's all. I just began to do it in the recent few years, and yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me what you see a lot of in as far as in Austria? Like, what kind of art do you see the most of in Austria?
Yeah, right now, in the life, I see a lot of abstract art, I have to say. And my relationship, yeah, I have a cold, warm relationship to abstract art. And one way I like it, but it has to be the right kind. And sometimes I have the feeling that a lot of people just think just because it's abstract, you can do anything, and then it's beautiful and it's art. That's not the case.
Right.
So there are some good abstract artists, and yeah, but for me, lot aren't really that good and not that interesting
Huh?
to look at. Yeah.
Right. No, and that's understandable. I mean, I appreciate your honesty. You know, yes, not all art is beautiful art or appealing to the eye. It's very, very subjective. One thing I'd like to note, though, so I know English is not your first language. How many languages do you speak?
Uh, yeah, so German, English, and a bit French. So three.
Okay, good to know. Let's get into the
With English, with English, I listen a lot of English to English, and I read a lot of English. That's since ever. That's not problem, but I'm not used to speak. Yeah, I'm not used to speaking, so I'm not that fluent. And yeah.
no, but you're doing a great job. I mean, I understand you very, so don't worry. Um, let's get into the inspiration aspect of it. So, what has inspired you lately with your work? Is it something you've seen? Do you follow certain artists on Instagram? What inspires you today?
Yeah, I follow a lot of artists on Instagram, of course. And there, yeah, there are two types. Mainly one type where I think the technique is interesting and like the style and the line weight or like the energy that inspires me. There are a lot of these artists, and then on the other side there are a lot, maybe even a lot artists who have in interesting motifs. Um, I think especially ink artists and line art artists,
Right.
and they may even be not as good or uh, how to say it, how experienced with their technique, but idea wise, and yeah, they have great ideas where I think that's inspiring, and I could maybe do something out of it. That's yeah, adapt the idea a little bit for my own.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can you name one of the artists that you follow, or like one of your favorites?
So, a lot. I think that's way too many.
Uh, yeah,
But
there's too many.
I could just open my feed and I don't know. There's this influencer account Blackwork Now, for example. There are a lot. I think you know it. There are always a lot of new ink artists there.
Okay.
They show lot recent, and pretty much everything you featured there is great. I think.
Okay. I'll have to
Yeah,
get you to send that to me once we're done here, so I can
yeah,
check it out.
yeah.
Okay. And one thing that we talked about earlier before we started recording was getting burnt out on artwork or feeling overwhelmed, having too much going on. Have you ever encountered that?
Yeah, pretty much always.
Now, how do you deal with burnout? Do you have any suggestions on, what helps you get out of that mood?
Yeah, to be honest, it's still a problem. With it. I'm struggling a lot with. Um, I think I've got some storages, but yeah, it's still a big part that bothers me, and that I have to figure out how to detach myself to my work-life balance. And I don't know that probably the best thing is just to take a step back and do something else, and then shut your system down and then get fresh ideas and then don't
Right. Now, incorporating that with your creative process, do you feel that you have a system in place as far as when it comes to creating art? Like I see, your studio in the background, or do you just kind of go, oh, whatever you're feeling that day is what you kind of gravitate towards?
Yeah, I have a process. It's still not that refined, but and it's still when I draw and paint, there I have a lot. How to say? I paint myself in a lot of dead ends, and then I have to go back and show. Yeah, so it's still not that as refined as it should be, in my opinion. Where I can say I have this workflow that goes smoothly without problems, and there's most of the time there are a few points during the process of drawing or painting where I sit there and think, oh my God, what I'm doing. I don't know how to proceed yet.
Got it. Got it. Are there any big projects that you're working on for this year that you can talk about?
Uh, Actually, yeah, I'm looking for. I'm trying to establish my own online shop, and I want to do a lot of personal work for myself, and I want to do a lot of original paintings. Um, yeah, lot of ideas, and actually, I want less client work, so I have time for my own stuff, and
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
I hope that can do something in this direction. And actually, what my long-term project, I would really like to do a tarot card deck.
Oh, can you said
So,
I didn't understand.
tarot card deck.
Oh, tarot card deck.
I
Yeah.
thought of tarot card, yeah. So 72 illustrations, 72
Oh,
figures. Well, that's really a long time project, of course. But I would like to get started with it and then do it card by card. And yeah,
so
that's my ideal. I do an original drawing. I can sell the original. I sell prints, and in the end, I have my own tag, a tarot tag, and yeah, that's my idea. And that's what I would love to do because that's what I find interesting. These archetypes in the deck and this deep meaning to try to interpret that. Yeah.
oh well, hey, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. I would
Yeah.
say that you're a big fan in as far as, astral planes, horoscopes, moods, just like emotional feeling, habitual practices, things of that nature. Like, is that why you like want to create something like that?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not that extremely spiritual or uh, esoteric. You say in English, esoteric. But I like as I said, I like the ideas behind it, the big archetypes. I don't really think it's that applicable or realistic, but I like the ideas, the archetypes, the what it means, and yeah, that's the yeah, for example, uh, archaeology, archaeology,
Oh, right.
the star signs. uh, that's yeah, kind of interesting.
Okay.
That's actually a smaller project. I could imagine I start uh, with the zodiacs, with these 12 zodiacs. It's pretty similar, and it's a little bit smaller, just the 12 pieces. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great, man. It sounds like that you have a very productive year ahead of you.
I hope so. Yeah.
And my last question for you is this. For anyone in the world, if you can give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Art related or general life related?
Anything that comes to your mind or anything that you live by. What's one piece of advice that you would always give to someone?
I don't know. I would say, yeah, think and be respectful and put yourself in the shoes of other people because, yeah, don't. There's often a reason that why other people do other stuff. You can imagine why it's silly or, but yeah, try to put yourself in their shoes. Be respectful.
Right. I love that answer. Being respectful, being very empathetic, because we never know what others are dealing with, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
they have reasons for doing certain things that we could probably never understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So I love your answer. Thank you so much. Uh, that was all for my questions, Manfred. Thank you so much for joining me. I really,
Thank you.
I hope to keep in touch with you, over the years.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see, your future products and future work. And I'll be reaching out to you soon, man. All right.
Thank you.
So much.
Yeah.
Take care. ScribbleTalks. All right.
Ciao.